Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host Jay. I'm here with my co-host Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. No Terrence or Tiara this episode, but we are back for episode 263 ATL. This is the 2006 film, coming of age film. I'll read the log line here. As four friends prepare for life after high school, different challenges bring up turning points in each of their lives. The dramas unfold and resolve at their local roller skating rink, Cascade. Neither one of us have seen this, so this will be fun. This is obviously starring T.I., Lauren London, and Evan Ross. So, again, from 2006. Look, I'll go first. It is a standard fare coming-of-age story. You know all the beats going in. Like, you practically don't even need to see the movie to know kind of generally what happens once you kind of know who the characters are. There's not much to say negatively about it. It's just it's standard fare, right? Which, you know, I guess you could, if you really wanted to, hammer it over that, I guess. The acting is fine. It's a lot of young, younger actors who haven't done a lot of things before this. I think Lauren London hadn't done anything before this. Obviously, T.I. is not an actor, which shows. But overall, I thought it's fine. It's a totally fine movie. I get why it's kind of a cult classic. The reason that you stay is because, one, you know, you get the aesthetic, the Atlanta aesthetic, right? Like, you get the sort of roller skating culture, you get just the general Southern black culture, you get the accents and stuff like that. I mean, they even quite literally make fun of the country sort of accent at one point, which is actually pretty funny in the moment. But overall, yeah, it's standard fare. I appreciated that they leaned into some tropes in sort of black coming-of-age movies, but then they kind of steered away from where it could have gone. And I kind of appreciated that because it was just seemingly unnecessary. But yeah, overall, it's a completely enjoyable movie. It's right for me. It's just like right in the middle. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. Look, when I had never seen this movie, like you said, and I didn't know what to expect, but I did not expect a coming of age movie. I did not expect a Southern version of The Wood. Right?
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
And I guess I expected this to be like a hood movie, like a little more like a serious like drug movie. You know what I mean? And look, maybe that's just you know, my bias. Like I guess I'm very much like Keith David's character. I saw these niggas on this poster, and I'm like, oh, that's probably like Menace to Society or some shit.
Mechanicsville? No. Right, exactly.
But I was actually pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I would compare this to The Wood, just not necessarily as good, right? I think The Wood has a bit more of a tighter script. I think the acting's better, but like you said, the acting's fine. I thought T.I. was fine in this. T.I. is really good at playing a dude from Atlanta. Like,
I mean, he's barely acting, right? Like
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's playing a dude from Atlanta, and I thought it was perfectly fine. You know, I kind of want to give this movie. I want to kind of grade it on a curve. One, because I like Atlanta. I've been a couple times, and it's a black town. You know, it is a black city. It really is. I was telling them I just came there from visiting some of my wife's family, and whenever I go, I have a good time. You know, people are nice to you, but they real with you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, the further west you go, people become really fake, and the further right, and the further north you go. On the East Coast, people are very rude, but like North Carolina, Georgia, parts of Georgia, like they're nice, they're nice, but they're not gonna be fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about, you know, I always talk about places I don't like. Atlanta is a place that I do like a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Even if my latent imposter syndrome kind of kicks in every once in a
A little
while,
bit.
right?
Should I even be here?
Right, like damn, I ain't black enough for this place, yo. Like I'm just
Atlanta's
not.
black as fuck. Like it is. I do remember like back in the day they used to refer to it as like the Black Mecca. And I was like, that's not true. And then I went there, I was like, that seems about accurate. Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah, yeah, that's accurate as shit.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean it's an enjoyable movie. Like I it's so funny. I really don't have anything negative to say about it. I was just kind of like, this is gonna happen? Yep, that happened. That seems about right. Like you just know as it goes along. But again, it's sort of you're there. The journey is the sort of the Atlantaism of the movie. Like that's kind of the fun sort of difference.
Yeah, it's. I think that's a different way of saying Atlanta itself is a character in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like this is what people mean when you say, "Oh, New York is a character," because you can have a pretty standard movie, but with New York flair to it, right? New York is a city that has character. New Orleans has a city that has character. Atlanta is a city that has character. Los Angeles is a city that has character. This is the type of stuff that people talk about when they say that. And yeah, I don't mind it. It was enjoyable. My wife loved it. She was like, "It's better than the Wood." I was like, "All right,
Relax.
calm down." With all
I feel
that.
like you haven't seen The Wood in a long time. Okay.
Right. And you know, she got family down there, so she a little
She
biased.
biased. She
I get it.
biased.
I get it.
Well, and you can also buy a mansion for $30,000, as we all know.
I mean, you can.
I mean, real estate is mad cheap in Atlanta. It's crazy.
It really is.
I remember looking at one point. I'm like, do I want to live there? Like,
I mean, look, I told my wife, I said, I don't want to live anywhere further south than Northern Virginia, but Atlanta, I would make an exception.
Yeah, I mean, that makes
I would
sense.
live in Atlanta.
Yeah,
The only thing about Atlanta that I hate is driving. Driving sucks in Atlanta because you got to drive everywhere, and it's not a walking city. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you gotta drive to get to where you're going. And she was telling me about like the days she went to Freaknik. She was like, "Oh, I-20 is all crowded," and I'm like, "All right, I don't need to hear about your days at Freaknik. Just calm down. I'm insecure."
Yeah, but in fairness, she went
she
during
didn't
the
go.
like. She didn't go when it was like Freaknik. She went like when people were like, "Hey, are you guys going to Freaknik?" Like it was
Right.
on the decline. Yeah, okay.
Right. She didn't go when it was Freaknik. She went when it was Freaknik TM. Right.
Yeah. People knew what the fuck it was. Even white people knew what Freaknik was. Like the early days, that is no. God damn. Like, don't tell people you went. Jesus Christ. Don't worry, they won't show you in that bullshit ass, boring documentary Hulu did. Got everybody hyped, and then it was crap. So on that thought, I have an Essence article here. 13 black coming of age films you'll watch again and again. One's called Seventh Grade. I'm pretty sure neither one of us have ever even heard of that. So I'm just going to skip that. All right. Here's their list. In no particular order, right? I'm just listing these. Dope. Excellent coming of age. Crooklyn. Agreed.
Love it.
Cooley High. Agreed.
Love it.
Jesus. Love and Basketball. It's been a long time since I've seen that, so I would have to say I'm kind of neutral on that one.
I enjoy Love and Basketball. I enjoy Love and Basketball, but like the end is like I'll play you for your heart. Like
that's super.
Right. That's more. I always thought of that movie as more of a romantic, comedy.
I don't think. I mean, they were young, sure, but I don't really think of it as a coming of age. This one is a weird coming of age, but like it should be on the list, but like it shouldn't be on the list. Juice. Like, Juice is sort of a coming of age story, but it's also like a fucking horror movie.
It is a coming of age. It is a coming of age story, right? You got the crew, right?
Yeah.
Who are growing up together, and one kind of goes down a criminal path, right? And the other one, and like, it's a coming of age movie. It's just a violent one.
Yeah, it's a super violent one. Tupac was excellent in that movie. He does. I know people give him plenty of credit. I still don't think you give him enough credit. Like, I really don't. He was incredible in that. Boys in the Hood, same thing, right? Coming of age, but like a really violent coming of age story. The Wood.
That's more of a message movie, right?
It is.
That's a message movie. So is Juice.
Juice.
This movie tries to do both, right? This movie tries to be like a fun coming of age movie, but it also is a message movie, especially at the end with Big Boy's character, and it feels like the message is just kind of tacked on. Like, I don't have a problem with a message movie, right? Like, and this tries to do more
of we need more of them, honestly. If we're being honest, like we actually kind of need more of them. We stopped doing them, to our detriment, I think. Okay, Boys in the Hood, The Wood, obviously. I mean, the Wood is like, it's like Cooley High, The Wood, in no particular order. It's like Cooley High, The Wood, Dope. Those are like, for me personally, like, those are in the top three. Roll Bounce.
Never seen it.
I've never seen Roll Bounce either. ATL, obviously. Remember the Titans. I mean, it is a coming of age story. It's also a message movie, so it kind of runs in the middle. House Party. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the greatest coming of age stories.
Little problematic in 2024, but
there's a lot of wild shit that happens in that movie. There's a lot of wild shit.
You did a freestyle about getting raped in jail, guys.
Yes. Good Lord. Listen, the 1990s were fucking wild. The Inkwell, another classic.
Yeah.
So that's their list. I think that's a pretty good list, honestly. I think that's a very good list.
I think that's all of them.
Does that feel like all of them?
I feel like that's all black coming of age movies.
Yeah. I mean,
and even still, like, a couple of them were a little more message than coming of age. You know what I mean?
So there you go. So in the comments, please let us know your favorite black coming of age story. That would be kind of fun to have that conversation. All right, so let's get into the actual movie. The movie kind of opens with us sort of meeting a number of characters, and one of which, the first character you get to meet is Rashad. He's sort of like T.I.'s character, Rashad Swan, is kind of narrating, right? And so he's introducing you to all these characters. The first one you meet is Uncle George Swan, played by McKelty Williamson, a.k.a. The Bubba Gump shrimp guy from Forrest Gump. He's taking care of Rashad and his brother because their parents are no longer around. And so he's just kind of a goofball character. He gets a little bit of a moment to be a little bit serious in the end, but for the most part, he's just kind of like fun comic relief, right? He kind of reminds me of the dad from Friday, right? He's just a goofball character until the end.
He's a John Witherspoon type character.
Yeah, and just like, live to fight another day. You're like, oh,
it's Friday.
I see.
Is Friday a coming of age movie? It feels like them three niggas are old, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yes. I mean, they're definitely out of high school, right? Like they're so yeah. It's not really a coming of age, but like they have the maturity of high school kids. So like, it's like, I don't know, 6 on one hand. I mean, look, age is a thing in this movie because it's hilarious. I believe T.I. was 26 when this movie came out, even though he looks kind of like a high school kid. Him and I are the same age. And so it's just really funny. Every time I think back, I'm like, oh, look at this little kid. I'm like, this nigga's almost 30 years old. Like, it's just hilarious to me. Like, he is not that young.
Like he's aged out of the real world, dude.
Yeah, he can't. He's too logical. Then we meet Anton Swan, who is T.I.'s brother, played by Evan Ross. And then, of course, we meet T.I.'s character, Rashad Swan. So, look, the two brothers are in high school. Rashad is a senior in high school. He's got a couple of friends. One named Esquire, who is kind of he's a super smart kid in their group, and he goes to like a private school. We find out how he got into it a little bit later. You also meet Teddy, who is a close friend of Rashawn's. He works at like a gold teeth, like a grills kind of place that he fits for people, which is fucking hilarious. Then there's Brooklyn Bridges, their friend who's from New York, who reminds them he's from New York all the time. And so, yeah, it's a again, all these coming of age stories, you need 4 friends. Like that is the core. And then you got the little brother, right? So all pretty standard fare at this point. We see Rashad go up to his uncle's room. And he's like, yo, can I borrow some cereal? Because there's no cereal downstairs. And his uncle reluctantly gives it to him. And he's like, look, I know how much cereal's in that box. Right. It's, again, it's very reminiscent of the conversation from Friday. Like
yeah.
Kind of thing. Rashad gives his buddy Esquire a ride to school because he lives in the neighborhood, but he goes to this like fancy ass school. And you just kind of realize like sort of the general difference between where they are in life. And Rashad's like A+ student, all this shit, but he needs a letter of recommendation for college, right? And the guidance counselor, being the worst guidance counselor on the planet, was like, "Oh, what? You don't have any friends, parents who could give you write something up?
Don't you know any senators or Congress people that could just write you a letter of recommendation? Like, what the fuck? Like, but
no,
all that's on purpose, right? All that's on purpose. Because Atlanta, as much as I like it, there are some vast disparities in living conditions from one place to another place, right? Like, and not like very far from one another, right? Like my wife's some of my wife's family lives there. We just got back from there, and they live in a very nice house, right? And then like on the other block, there's just this dilapidated houses. Like it's like there are like it's kind of sucks to see. But at the same time, like it's wild because like Rashad is a character that's just like, I'm kind of set in this. Like I know I'm not gonna make it out, but he will do whatever he needs to do to try and help his friend and his brother get out of this. Like it's a sacrifice, you know what I mean? And it's
interesting because Rashad's character is perfect, right? Like there is no argument about him doing anything like shady, even like to help his family. He doesn't do anything wrong. He's totally a noble character, and it's actually wild to watch a character like this. I'm like, does he have any faults? No. He's just like, I'm saving money for my brother. I'm helping out all of my friends. I'm driving my friend to his school. I'm doing all this. No one has ever asked him to do anything outside of the very end of the story where he's not like, absolutely, I'll do it. It's actually kind of interesting how he's written. He's written, I don't want to say very flat, but there's no edge to the character at all. And that's interesting considering who's playing him, right? I'm not saying like T.I. is like a thug type of guy. He's not, but he's like a hood dude, right? And so you would think that maybe they would write him a little bit more like that. No, not really.
No, well, his character is your POV character. He's the character that the writer and director, I believe, want you to imprint yourself on, right?
Sure.
That's why he's incredibly noble, because we want, and that's why they got T.I., right? somebody who is like hot shit, especially in the early 2000s.
Oh, at this
Right?
time, hell yeah.
Right. Like you want your audience of hopefully younger people, right? I don't know what this was rated, but
PG.
you want your audience PG-13, perfect. You want somebody born in 1990 to watch this and imprint themselves on the TI character. That's why this character is so like incredibly noble. But he might have one little like flaw, but that's because he got lied to, right?
Right,
And that's
which everyone can understand.
and that's his right, which is completely understandable, right? It's the same thing that we had with stuff like Boys in the Hood, where we're supposed to be following Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, who is not noble but innocent.
Yeah, he's
You know what I
totally
mean?
like
He's,
almost
he's
to a
innocent
naive.
and naive.
Yeah, I was gonna say almost to a naive point of view. Yeah. So I mean,
And yeah, I mean, it's just the way that this movie's told. It's like I get it. I hear what you're saying about Ti, but like which was probably part of the reason why I thought this was going to be along the juice end of things instead of the wood end of things.
yeah,
Because
I mean,
I see this poster. I see this poster of Ti, right, and like he mean mugging the camera, yo. Like,
are you all right,
it's him and Big Boy. It's him and Big Boy mean mugging the camera. And and usually with coming of age movies, it's like everybody's having a good time on the poster,
yeah.
but that's neither here nor there.
Right. And by the way, as a side note, Will Smith is a producer on this movie.
Yeah, Overbrook.
Yeah. It is amazing, by the way. A lot of people maybe don't realize this. Will Smith.
So is T-Boz, right? T-Boz, and this Laura London's character is based off of T-Boz.
Yeah, when she was young. Yeah, I read that. No, like, it's funny. Will Smith produces quite a lot of sort of these, I don't want to say, a lot of black films that I think people would otherwise not expect him to be involved in, is what I'll say. Like, it's actually slightly surprising when I'm like, is it a different Will Smith? And then I'll Google it. It's like, no, that was actually, that's the Will Smith you're thinking of. Which is what I did with this. I was like, is it like a white, is it a William? Oh, no, it's Willard. Oh, okay, no, that's him. That is the guy. So, yeah, no, it's good to see him sort of back in this kind of stuff because it's important. So the four friends go to like a diner or whatever, and lo and behold, the woman taking their order is Monica, which was just really fucking weird. I don't know anything about Monica's background, but without even guessing, Monica's from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, okay.
Or she's from College Park, which I think is like some sort of suburb of Atlanta.
Yeah, okay. And like, easiest thing, I was like, oh, there's Killer Mike, also from Atlanta. T.I., also
right.
Like they Bone Crusher, also from Atlanta, right? Like it's just kind of interesting and fun. And I actually like that they didn't just pull a bunch of people and just be like, y'all gonna be Southern. They're like, nah, these motherfuckers are really from here. like they take this shit seriously. This is their town, which I think makes the project even better. So while they're in the diner, all these girls walk in, these two twins, and Lauren London's character, Nunu. And everybody's checking them out, but Rashad is like, whatever, like, I don't really give a shit, like, it ain't no big deal. And of course, that is, he is 1,000% into Laura London's character, but he's just trying to play it cool, and everybody else is like, oh, like trying to check her out. Which, I mean, she's very cute at this time. I mean, isn't she like making out with like didn't they have to digitally add it in for her to kiss Jonah Hill in that movie or whatever?
Yeah.
That's fucking.
I was like, when I first saw that, I was just like, what is this? Did they not kiss? Like,
She was like, no thanks, I'm good. Do CGI. I'm not touching.
Just get a new actor, yo. I don't know who had more sway in that project, but like, get a new actor that has like some chemistry with with whoever was the headliner. I I don't know, yo.
And
I don't know.
I have
That's
not
weird.
seen that. Was it You People or some shit like that? Like,
Yeah, it's you people. Don't bother. It's not a good movie.
this is what I've heard.
uh,
So then they talk for a little bit, and again it's all like super innocent type of shit. Then Rashad sort of does a voiceover about Cascade, which is their local skating rink. A shake and bake, if you will, if you're from the Baltimore area and you're our old sh. Can you roller skate? You skate?
Nigga, don't. What the fuck? What? What? Can I do? You'd have better luck finding a horse that can skate.
You can't be as bad as me. How about that? You can't. It's impossible. Like their rule at Cascade is like, don't fall. I could never go there. If you can imagine what it would be like to strap roller skates to Frankenstein's feet and then just push him out into the center of the floor, that's me, but smaller. Like,
okay, yeah, and that's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say.
Horrible.
You have the benefit of a lower center of gravity. All right?
Cool.
So I don't want to hear that shit. All right? Put your center of gravity 6 inches higher and then try to do that shit.
Yeah.
Nah, yo. Nah.
Look, hitting the ground. Look, everybody's pain is their pain. Me hitting the ground still feels hard to me. Okay, like it's not fun to me. No, I'm not a amazingly coordinated person. One could argue that I'm not coordinated at all. I would be the one to argue that. I see these people skating, and look, I have a visceral reaction to seeing people, especially guys, skate in tandem and do moves together. I'm like, this is the dumbest shit ever. And look, I'll be totally honest with you. I only believe that because I am jealous that I cannot do it. That is my sole reason.
Course.
Yeah,
of
it's
course.
pure jealousy.
I see dudes doing that. And I'm like, this nigga is peacocking in front of my wife, yo. Like I'm gonna have to trip this nigga. I hope he fall. Fuck, hate.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I know that about myself. I'm not always aware of the things that I say as far as where they come from deeply. My hate for organized roller skating is pure jealousy. It's just pure jealousy. I hate everyone in this scene. I hate all of them. But I love seeing it. Like I love watching people be this good at it, especially black people, because there's a certain flair that we have that is just fucking different.
Do white people roller skate like this?
No, I feel like white people ice skate. Like they do the twirling and all that other shit. But no, roller skating is not really I mean, I'm sure there are white people who
like white people roller skate, right? Like white people roller skate. Like I'm not being like that. Don't be ridiculous, right? White people roller skate, but do white people roller skate like this?
Do they roller skate? Right. You just say the word
right.
twice.
Like I hate to bring it back to the old '90s cliche, but black people roller skate like this, and white people roller skate like this.
Next up on Comic View. Yeah, no, but I think that's largely true. Like, look, we have some white listeners. Look, correct me if I'm wrong. Send video.
Look, yeah, send me a video. Pixel didn't happen. I want to see white people roller skating, and I'm gonna directly compare you to black people roller skating.
Now, and by the way, don't try to send us a video of a white person roller skating with all black people and be like, he good. No, I'm not. No, a roller skate rink where 95% of the people are white. That's what I want to see. No, you can't slip him in with the rest of the black people and be like, this is the standard. No, it's not the standard. Knock it off. No.
A white person not from Atlanta, by the way. A white person not from Atlanta.
That is true. No, you got to be from the Midwest.
Yeah, you cheat. Yo. You cheat. You're a white person from Atlanta. You half black anyway. So I don't want to hear that shit.
Nah, I like Idaho. Like where is the video of people roller skating in Idaho? Like that's what I want to see.
Nebraska, nigga. Where I need somebody. Carl, get some of your white friends and videotape them roller skating. I want to see.
He's like, there's no roller skate rink here. Like where are they? They don't exist. I don't think so. I think ice skating is the white people equivalent to this. I'm also bad at I'm also bad at ice skating.
My wife is ridiculous. She is like, she's all about like every time the weather gets cold, she's like, let's go to Georgetown and let's go ice skating. And she always talks a big game. I said, all right, we can go ice skating. But she's like, but I'm kind of scared because if I fall, I don't want my fingers to get sliced off. No bullshit, yo. That's literally what she says. She says, but what about the blades of your fingers? I don't want to get my fingers sliced off. I'm like, all right, yo. All right.
That is utterly ridiculous. I share the same fear. I don't think it's that crazy. I don't think it's that crazy. People can get hurt, guys. People get hurt. No, that's really silly. That's very fucking silly. We have an ice skating rink here. I live in one of the hottest places on fucking Earth. Yeah, we have one in the mall here, which is really weird. But like, how are Mexicans good at ice skating? Where are they getting all of this advanced training? I don't get it. But yeah, some of them are really good at it. It's weird. I don't know. I guess they went north for a couple of weeks and they were like, oh shit, I got this. And then they came back down, showed off. I will never volunteer to like, hey, let's all go skating. That would be the last thing I would ever suggest to do. Why? Do I want to look like an asshole? Like, no, I'm like a fucking dummy. My daughter had, when we were back in Baltimore, she had a friend of hers in school who had an ice skate or a roller skating party. Like, her family rented out an entire roller skating rink, right? And they had a party for her. It was great. And they were like, all right, you getting out there? I'm like, fuck. Like, I just want to watch my kid from a distance. And my wife is like slightly better than me. My daughter, who had never put on a pair of roller skates, is equally as bad as I am somehow immediately. So I was like, yeah, no, this is great. I love it. And I'm like, I feel like an idiot. So I'm very jealous of anybody who can do this. And I'm specifically very jealous of black people who can do this. Because these niggas are jumping up and down and turning around on some bullshit. And it makes me mad.
All right, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask a really stupid question. Okay. How do you stop? I know the brakes are on the front, but like,
not if you want to get your teeth knocked out.
Right? Are you supposed to Michael Jackson that shit and do like a ballet?
I don't know. I know. Look, we needed Terrence on this episode to be like, you niggas are lame. You're right. He's going to be listening to this. He's 100% correct. And if you're in the comments saying, how do y'all not know how to roller skate? You're right. I don't know. It's not like I wasn't invited to parties. I was. You know what it was?
Imposter syndrome. That's how. Right. That's how I don't know how to skate.
No, but you know what mine is? Like, you know how people try to like blame, violence in society on video games? No, you can blame. I can 100% blame video games for the reason I don't know how to roller skate. Because when my friends went roller skating, my nerdy ass was like, I went over to the arcades, like the arcade games, and I was playing Street Fighter 2 and shit like that. That's why. They were like, come on, let's all learn together. I was like, nah, but like Ryu's right there. Like, the fuck you talking about? That's what I did. So,
I remember doing it once. I played NBA Jam.
Yeah, that's to this day, I blame video games for that. Not for violence in schools, but I 100% blame it for the reason I don't know how to roller skate. It's their fault. At the roller skating rink, the crew is there. Good Lord, these fine ass women, these little shorts. Anyway, the crew is there, and Laura London and her friends show up, and they, again, this is like peak 90s, right? Like the clothing, everything. It's all fucking peak 90s, and
early aughts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, early aughts. But I feel like maybe Atlanta was like slightly in the past. It was like 1997 down there. Like at this time, like y'all niggas are dressing like it was like how I dressed in high school. I'm just saying. I ain't mad at y'all. so then we get back up to we get back to school. We see Rashad is being hit on by this one girl. She's like, look, like my mama ain't home. You should come over. You want to give me a ride? And his line, which I thought was hilarious, is, your mama ain't never home. Like, you seem a little easy.
That was that's apparently his ex girlfriend that she was trying to get back with him, and like you said, he called her a whore.
Yeah, I mean, essentially. So then the guys are like hanging out. They're at a gas station, like practicing their moves, and Rashad's brother Ant is like trying to hit on a woman who seems way too old for him. Like, this nigga's in like 10th grade. Like, relax. Meanwhile, Brooklyn, he gets fired from his job at Santoni's Pizzeria, which I feel like there's a Santoni's Pizzeria in every major city. And then we see Ant looks over and he sees the local drug dealer, played by Big Boy. What is his name? What is the Marcus. And he's kind of interested, like, I'd like to kind of make some money. The guys leave there. They go to the local pool. They're all hanging out. Laura London is there. Again, there's like all of these encounters. There's all these encounters, and Rashad and her clearly like each other, but she's way more obvious about it than he is.
It's places like this that it's a place like this where I said that swimming is not for me. There was the public pool at Druid Hill Park.
Hell yeah, son, park pool.
And I remember my aunt took me there one day when I was young, and this big fat chick fucking cannonballed and right on top of me. And I was under, and I was panicking, right? I thought I was gonna die, and then they had to come in and pull me out. And I said, "Well, fuck this. I ain't no business being in that pool anyway. I can't breathe underwater."
You were like, "I'll just grow taller. That's how I'll solve this."
There you go.
Just keep getting taller. Like I did the park pool back in the day. I do in fact know how to swim. I remember. You had to they had two different pools. Like they had the regular pool, and then they had the deep pool, right? That's where like all the cool adults were and shit. And you had to do a test to be able to swim in the deeper pool. You had to swim 2 laps of the pool. In hindsight, it was very small, and I could swim. So I was like, "Can I test to get in there?" I don't know how old I was. Maybe 10. 11 years old or something like that. And so I did it because, again, like my dad was a lifeguard growing up, or not growing up, but like when he was young. So I knew how to swim pretty early. And so I swam, I did the thing. They were like, all right, the lady's like, yeah, no, you're good. She was like, just keep going. I want to see how many you can do. And I did a bunch of laps or whatever. And then I remember there was like a bunch of dudes that were like in their 20s and 30s trying to get in. And she was like, all right, you got to do the test. And they couldn't do it because they all smoked. So they couldn't actually do. And I was just like, that's interesting. I'm 11. Fuck you. And I thought I was hot shit because there was like a couple of older women there. And I was like, not a big deal. I'm like Ant. I'm like, these chicks are like 30. They don't give a fuck about your 11-year-old ass. Get out of the way. But I thought I was cool. That was one of my cooler moments. So I saw it as. So yeah, they're hanging out at the pool. Ant, actually before the thing with Ant, Nunu comes up to Rashad and she's like, "Oh hey, like whatever." And Rashad's buddy, what is his name, Teddy, tried to hit on her immediately, and she was like, "No, never." I was like, "God damn." Like, what's the worst they can do?
Christ.
Like, what's the worst they can say is no. That's apparently not the worst thing they could say. She was like, never. Go, fuck out of here. Because she's obviously already interested in Rashad. And so she's like all about him. Again, it's hilarious because both of them motherfuckers are like 20-something years old in this scene. Like, it's just hilarious. But so she, again, very clearly into him. then she tells them like, "Oh, there's gonna be this big party at Big Booty Judy's house," and Rashad's like, her parents are letting her have a party after last year, and it like does a Family Guy like quick cut to the fire department being at her house the last time. So they were like, "Yeah, she's having a party. Y'all should all come." So it's like,
That was kind of odd. I thought, oh, are we doing this in this movie? Like, are we doing cutaway gags? No, just that one.
just that one, yeah. So Ant sees a buddy of his jump in the pool and then like jump out and rush into the bathroom. So he goes to check, and it's his friend from school who's like drying all of his dollar bills because this dummy jumped in the water with money. In his pocket.
I'd like to think that somebody pushed him in there, but the movie doesn't show that. So maybe he did, maybe he didn't. It wouldn't be very smart because he's wearing cargo shorts and boxers. Like he ain't wearing.
Oh,
He
maybe.
ain't wearing swimming trunks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, that does make sense. I was just like, why would you do that? It like when he's in the water, it looks like the cover of fucking Nevermind, right? He's like trying to get the money. This is fucking hilarious. So yeah, he basically explains, yeah, I got all this money because I'm selling drugs for Marcus, and he's like, oh, that does sound pretty nice, which I guess. We cut to the twins. They're back at home. They're trying to steal some money from their moms, as they refer to it.
I'd have grabbed it.
1,000%. 1,000.
I'd have grabbed it. I'd have grabbed it head first. How about that?
Yeah. They were trying to steal money out of their mom's bra, aka Titty City, as they said. Look, I
You
forget
know who
that
that is, right?
Yeah, it's my girl from that Tyler Perry movie. Boom. Yeah. No, I love her, dude. I think she is an awesome actress. She's very funny. She could get it. She looked great in this
Her
movie.
name is Tasha Smith. Is her name?
Yeah, she could have absolutely got it. And she's always funny. Like she always brings it like 1,000% in any movie I've ever seen her in. So she drops the twins off at Cascade, and she makes them crawl out of the back of the fucking station wagon because the doors don't work. And again, it's like all light, goofy fare, right? Like it's all fine. Everybody's having fun at the roller skating rink. It's just no big deal. We see Erin is wait. She doesn't go by Erin at first. Oh, she just goes by
No,
Erin.
she's just new. That's a surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker. It is kind of funny, like, oh, is your name not Nunu? Like, that's not her real name, right? Like, it's kind of weird. So Nunu comes up to Rashad, who's like, just hanging out. Again, being very noble, being very cool. And his ex-girlfriend sees Nunu in him talking, and she's like, "Oh hell no, I'm gonna beat that girl's ass." And like again, there's an innocent interaction between Rashad and Nunu. He like drinks some of her soda, and then he drinks all of her soda, and they have this like sort of flirtatious thing going on. The aunt's buddy takes him to meet Marcus, and they do, and like it's brief and it means nothing, right? But it's just sort of this general introduction. Then we get a scene of the guys roller skating. They're very good. I'm very jealous. I cannot imagine on any day of the week I would lift my 1 foot off the floor. That seems very dangerous to me. They hit some water, and the one dude hits his face on a roller skate. Like, god damn. And that would have been me. That'd have been me. I'd have fallen. But of course, Rashad
not our
fall.
POV character. Our POV character has incredibly quick reflexes and jumps over his crew as they topple and fall.
Yeah.
And I don't need that kind of embarrassment in my life, so I'm just not going to roller skate.
When's the last time you went?
Roller skating?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been maybe like 10 years. yeah, it's been like 10 years, and you know, I'm like you said, it's I'm not skating and shit, right? Like I'm damn near walking, you know. Like it was, yeah, it was a while ago. Haven't done it since. I think I'm too old for all that now. Too old.
Yeah.
Too old.
Convenient.
Yep. What's this dude's name that wants to go to college? Esquire works at a country club, and we cut to this, right? And we cut to this scene to introduce Keith David's character, John Garnett.
He's so fucking cool in this movie, man.
I mean, Keith David is cool in literally everything. I haven't seen Keith David has been in bad movies. I've never seen him be bad in a movie.
That is correct. 100%.
And I saw Tales from the Hood 2 or whatever that was.
Bad movie. First one was great. That second one,
first one was really good. The second one was just like, it lost all subtlety, but like he was good in it.
Yeah,
telling people, "I'll see you in hell, motherfucker," or whatever. And so Rashad works at this country club. He spots Keith David's character. What did I say? John Garnett. And this character's smart, and he knows who this character is, and he goes up and he flatters him, right? Like, hey, it's good to meet you, sir, and congratulations for 6 months in the black, right? Like he's kissing this guy's ass, right?
Yep.
Just to introduce this character. Get a quick scene of the Swan family doing what they do for a living. They're custodians, and they are cleaning an office building. And old dirty ass, what's his name? Uncle George. Old dirty ass Uncle George is clipping his toenails.
No. See, people are gross, man. People are gross. People's feet are gross. Yuck. It's an admirable job. It's a safe.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
job.
not. Look.
Oh no, I didn't say you were saying that. I'm just saying, like, it is. It's keeping these kids working. Now, here's the thing, though. They do this at night, and this is like, I don't know if this sort of comes across to other people, but they do this job at night. But then they have to get up and go to school. So, like, how much sleep are they really getting? Right? How much rest are you really getting when you go to school all day and you work all evening, and then you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of black kids who kind of have that cycle, which is really dangerous as far as them, like, actually being able to be productive in school. So, just as an aside.
At Big Booty Judy's graduation party that she's throwing, Rashad and Nunu make their moves on each other. We get a quick scene of Rashad's ex trying to start a fight and shit. There's a slow dance, so of course one of the dudes is trying to grab Big Booty Judy's ass. He's trying to finger her, yo. Yeah.
Wasn't that Esquire? Like, he was fucking going.
That's Esquire. Like, he was like, God damn, bro. Like, calm down, yo. Jesus Christ.
I mean, look, the name fits, but like, you got to relax.
Yeah, yo. Like, you do miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but like, you're not supposed to shoot the ball over the fucking hoop, yo.
He is shooting for the fucking fences, dude. Like, relax.
God damn.
Bring it down. You take your time. It'll probably work out better for you.
Yeah, man. Just fucking peeling an asshole open. So yeah, so Nunu and Rashad, they're falling for each other. The twins, Vita and Star, get caught by their mother because apparently these two are a couple of kleptomaniacs, and they steal a bunch of clothes. They have a penchant for stealing clothes, but when they steal them, they wash them, and they left them in the washing machine. And mom was like, "What the fuck is all this Gucci shit in the in the
Right.
washing machine? We ain't got Gucci money. We got titty money, not Gucci money."
Yeah, y'all broke as shit. Get the
Um,
fuck out of here.
so they get dragged off by their mother, but Rashad is like, "Hey, I'll give you a ride home." So they drive home in what I believe Jay's neighbors drive home in El Camino.
That's wild. That's wild.
And they
Naming that car the Road is crazy.
fucking fucking and El Camino is just
It's a
like
crock. It's a crock.
yeah, yo. Like, what was the? I mean, I get the mindset. I just don't know why someone was like, you know what, that is a good idea. having a car with a bed in the back or a truck bed in the back.
I don't look,
But
man. I will say this: I haven't seen any of them down here. See them in the U.S. though. I had a neighbor who had 2 of them back when I lived in Baltimore. He was like, "Hell yeah!" It's like this is weird. It's weird. I don't know why the El Camino
hey,
is so
man,
popular. I don't know. It's ugly
hey
as
man,
fuck.
look, I'm not a car guy. Maybe there's something to them.
I mean, they were kind of like muscle cars in a lot of ways too, but still, they were fucking hideous.
So yeah, they drive, and then they have their first kiss, I guess. Meanwhile,
these
Esquire.
2 30-year-old niggas in a car. It's just hilarious.
Meanwhile, Esquire is not a big fan of Nunu.
But he doesn't really know why at this point. But there's something
Yeah,
about
he's
her, I
just
guess,
got
is
like
rubs him the wrong way.
yeah. So Ant, the little brother, played by Tracy Ellis Ross's brother, is becoming more and more involved in with Marcus, and begins to start selling weed, I guess, for him. They take him to his compound, I guess. Um, well,
This
it's
nigga's
got
dirty
fences and
house.
shit. It's got like fences and it's got a bunch of dogs and shit.
Killer
And
Mike is
this
there.
shit is terrifying. This shit is terrifying. I didn't like this part of the movie at all. If he said you got to feed my dogs in order for me to sell for me, dare to be different, guys. I'm not selling drugs if I gotta get near your fucking dogs.
Look,
Especially that one dog. That one dog at about 45 minutes with his teeth baring. Like,
nah,
that
I'm
shit is
good.
nightmare fuel, yo.
Yeah, for you. I mean, you're a scared ass nigga.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Look, I ain't going
Just,
in there. I'm judging you sitting right next to you. Okay, like,
look,
and I like
I will
dogs. I
be a
like dogs.
bitch. I will
No,
be
that
a
dog
bitch.
looks crazy, yo. That dog looks crazy, and Marcus is crazy too. Like, I was playing a shot you. Like, that's not funny, dog. Like, that's it's not okay. I'm good. Please stop doing that. Pulls out a knife. Oh, why are you jumping? Because you pulled out a knife, yo, and I'm a high school kid, and you're a terrifying drug dealer. Please stop playing around.
Yeah, yo. So Rashad tries to talk sense into Ant after he skips his history class. He's like, "Come on downstairs. Let me show you something. Like, I know you want to make money, right? Like, that's another thing that kind of happens with young people, especially young men. They don't want to go to college, right? Like, sometimes they don't even want to graduate high school. They want to start making money, right? And
Yeah,
I
I get it.
I get the mentality. I really do. And college is, I am a firm believer that college is not for everyone. It just isn't.
No, it's not.
But at the same time, like, you gotta, there, he, Rashad goes and tells him, like, look, you want to make money, fine, but you got to make it the right way, right? You don't have to be a dope boy to make money. And then he shows him just rolls and rolls and rolls of money that he's been saving up from working as the custodian, because he's going to plan on giving it to his little brother so he can get out of Mechanicsville, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, look, it makes total sense. Again, it's this sort of obvious nobility of this character. I wouldn't have shown where I kept it. if I'm being honest, like, nah, you gotta go upstairs for a second. Because I don't trust none of y'all. But yeah, look, I respect it. I mean, it is kind of funny. He's like, I've been saving this money for 3 years. It's like, this is the amount of money I can make in like a weekend. Like, you've been saving this for 3 years? Like, this is not a convincing message. But that being said, yes, it's far better to save your money and not be ending up on the wrong side of a gun because you're a drug dealer. Look, but at the same time, it is. I hate that this storyline has to be in the movie, but at the same time, it's realistic to how these people, what a lot of black people deal with, and it is sadly an option that a lot of people do take. So,
yeah,
you got to do it.
Yeah, and look, I don't mind the message. It just, I don't know. Part of it I don't know if it feels out of place. I don't know what it is about it. Right, like the coming of age, like lightheartedness mixed with like this like heavy like message. I don't know. It works, but I don't think it's done.
It can be a little off-putting. It can be a little off-putting at times. So yeah. No,
so at school, Ant meets up. Well, he makes the mistake of meeting up with a guy named Jay. Never trust anyone whose name is a letter.
Agreed. It's a bad idea.
And Jay inquires about the drugs that Ant is selling, but Ant is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Nope. I don't know what you're talking about. Narc, get out of here, narc. So the moral of the story is never trust anybody named Jay. Is what I'm saying.
I think the moral of the story is that Jay will dime you out. Yeah, that's true. I will. Don't tell me about your crimes. Don't tell me about your crimes. I'm not here to be your fucking safe box, your lock box. We'll let your ass out.
Look, I agree. Look, I'm not gonna run and tell on you. But if it's between you and me,
me getting in trouble? Go to jail. Go to jail. Nah, right. I'm not a reliable source. No, you just go down with the lie. I don't think so. I got a future to secure. Get the fuck out of here. Well, you're a sellout. I'll be a sellout on the outside. You can be the real nigga on the inside. I'm like,
yeah, I'm not gonna be a narc, but if they pull me up and say you going to jail unless you tell us what happened, I'm a tell. I'm a tattletale. I'm a tattletale.
Like, I just imagine there's people in the comments who are like, y'all don't know nothing about street code and stuff like that. You're right, I don't.
I grew up on a road.
Yeah, I grew up on a court, so no, I don't. There are no court rules, except for in tennis. Get the fuck out of here. No, absolutely not. Like, I'm just not. Look, I appreciate that there are people who think like that, and as far as that, like, I'm just gonna go down with the ship type of shit. Nah.
I appreciate that kind of loyalty. And I expect it from my friends. Except when I'm doing crimes. Like, I get it.
Right.
Like, I get it.
Look, I'm not even going to say doing crimes. I expect that type of loyalty from my friends. Just don't expect it in reverse. I'm not here for you. Get the fuck out of here. You gonna help me? Sure. Listen, officer, this nigga's got weed in his locker. It's right over there. I can do that. Great. No, but in all seriousness, don't tell me your crimes. So, don't tell them to me. Because if it push come to shove, if I'm shove, you getting pushed into jail. Like, that's just the way it goes. So yeah, they declined to sell this narc weed. I get it. Fuck that guy.
There's a funny scene of Ant trying to sell to this guy who kind of looks like Big Perm,
Yeah, he does.
but without the perm. And you know, he's speaking in like this southern dialect that that it like he's using words I understand, but he's not using them in the way that I understand words to be spoken.
They're not in the correct order. Verbs are not going with prepositions properly. Like, it's fine, it's cool. I love that they do closed caption for it. Like,
yeah,
to translate. It's hilarious. And he just gets mad. He's like, "Yo, I don't know what you're even saying to me. Yo. Like, you want to buy weed or not? Like, knock this shit off."
Aunt finds a girl named Tondi, and you know, he spits some light skinned game, and eventually they start having sex.
Yeah, because he's got
back.
money now. Like, that's the only reason.
Yeah. Because he's in, and they have sex in the backseat of a car. Car sex is the worst. Don't do it.
The worst? Is it the worst? I'm trying to think.
Look, the last time I had car sex, it was decades ago. I was maybe an inch shorter than I am now, and I was having sex with a woman. That was 5'10".
Oh,
it's the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah, y'all
two big fucking
niggas.
giants sitting in a car, sitting in the back seat of a fucking car, and it wasn't even the back seat. It wasn't even the back seat. You know what car it was? You know what car it was? It was the Geostorm. Man.
Nah, yo, come on, yo. One. I wouldn't trust myself to masturbate in the back of a Geostorm. There's not enough space, let alone have sex with another person. Are you serious? What the fuck? Yo, the Geostorm. Look, just as a personal reference to just give everybody context in this. Obviously, I was not there for this. Thank God. Micah used to drive a Geostorm, which is a very, very piece of shit car. It really was. It's his first car, right? Oh, fuck. This nigga was so tall in that little ass car. You had to put the seat all the way back where there was no space between the back and the front seat, the driver's seat, and the back seat. It was up against it because you're too fucking tall for it. Yo, that big. Car was hilarious.
So
we called it the Storm.
It was the Storm. It was my little red sports car.
Nigga, this is not a fucking sports car. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that. Don't you dare lie. Don't you dare lie to people. Holy shit. Look, I'm not gonna lie though. I remember when I bought a 27-inch Sony Vega television, or Sony Vega television, whatever it was, and I couldn't fit it into my car, and you had to come up to Best Buy with the fucking Storm hatchback so we could load it in. So I can't talk too much shit.
It was the Storm then, wasn't it? Also,
holy shit.
Also, that massive 27-inch television.
Yo, that TV was so fucking big. Yo, it had like a 9-foot bezel around the screen. Holy shit. Oh my God. That was like, we were like 18 or 19. I guess we were like probably 19 years old at that time or something like that. I can't believe you tried to have sex with some big ass woman in the back of a fucking Geostorm. That's hilarious. Holy shit. No, car sex, I guess it probably is the worst. I had a Jetta. A Jetta, it was all right. Like, that was not ideal. I feel like you need an SUV. Like that, like if you're gonna do it, you need an SUV.
Nah, yo.
That the seats lay down.
I can't. Yeah, you need an SUV with the seats laid down and the trunk emptied out.
Yes.
And even then, if I'm gonna do all that, like,
let's go in the house.
Yeah, like I'm gonna find somewhere. No, we got to do something else. Like, car sex is the worst. As Ant is having sex with Tondi in the back seat of a car, he sees Austin, the guy that we met at the pool party, cleaning his trying to dry his dollar bills. We saw him getting beat up by Marcus because he was short on some drug money.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with Marcus.
And by the way, that's his cousin. Like, he beat his
that's
own cousin.
Marcus' cousin. Yeah.
That's fucked up. And yeah, Ant gets to watch all this while he's still balls deep in this girl.
It was funny. While he was having sex, she was like, "That's my navel, or that's my belly button." He was like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah. Nah, I heard chicks are into that. Like, they're not. Oh. Girl, you real tight. Yeah, that's my navel, nigga. Like, oh shit.
Again, but like that's a funny like coming of age, like I'm a virgin, I don't know where to stick it joke, right? Juxtaposed to the vicious beating of of this dude right outside. Like it's
against
like, that's
the car.
The awkwardness. Right. That's the awkwardness that I'm talking about when I'm talking about like I feel like there's a way to juxtapose these two things, to mesh these two like coming of age comedy message movie together, not just like slam into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's really funny and weird. So Nunu she ends up going to Rashad's house. She sees like his room in the basement. It's weird. There's like stormtroopers with like Che Guevara like images. Like, this is fucking weird. Nunu is black because she takes her shoes off before she gets in his bed. Thank you. Yeah, fucking home training. Unlike Gwen Stacy in that animated movie.
Yeah, that is weird. A stormtrooper, a Che Guevara stormtrooper.
Yeah, like what is going on? He's Rashad's a very interesting kid from Mechanicsville, Georgia. It's quite weird. So they're hanging out. She finds some of his drawings, and she's like, "Oh my god, you actually have like real talent." He's like, "I'm all right." So he's trying to be humble about it. Like, nah, nigga, you can draw like really well. And turns out like he got inspired to draw comics because he was growing up. His dad would let him hold the Sunday paper with the comics section in it. And he always wanted to dream about drawing those comics himself when he grew up. And she's like, you still can. Like, bro, you're 18. Like, you don't have to give up on life.
He draws a picture of Nunu who looks like she's been infected with Joker toxin.
Yes. Is this me? No. For the love of God, don't do that. I hope not.
Yeah, so I'm trying to skip through to more plot points. One day at work, Esquire meets John Garnett, a millionaire, during a golf game. The two get to know each other and they become acquaintances, with Esquire seeking an opportunity to obtain the letter of recommendation that he needs to get into some Ivy League school. I forget the name of it. Yeah. So Esquire goes to Garnett's house to have dinner and receive the letter, and he meets his daughter Erin, who turns out to be Nunu.
She was faking it. She's a rich kid.
She's not and they have this conversation, and I think this is another conversation. I think this is another thing that kind of happens to people. If you come from means, sometimes you, especially when you're young, sometimes you push back on that. And if you come from nothing, like you tend to, you want to be rich. And they have that argument, right? And, she's going around like, well, she's from the streets and all that. Like, no, you're not. And She's like, well, my dad is, right? And he came from nothing and made himself something.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't get that mentality. I'm not, I grew up well off, right? I didn't want for nothing, but,
Yeah, you grew up middle class.
my parents did what parents are supposed to do, make it easier for the next generation
Absolutely.
to move forward, right? And I didn't take that for granted. I will never understand the mentality of people. And look, maybe this is just me being old, but I'll never understand Nunu's mentality of like, she called her dad a sellout, She called him a sellout. Now, look, we don't know what he does, but
I mean, the implication is that he's a sellout because he's ashamed of where he came from, right? And he's kind of
right. And look, I get it. I get some of that, right? I get some of that. Like, I'll tell people I'm from Baltimore, right? I ain't moving to Baltimore. I ain't moving back to Baltimore. Like, I'm not.
We don't want you here. There, I don't live there either.
What, Mexico? The fuck? you telling people you're not from the U.S. The fuck?
I don't know them. Bye. I've always lived here. No. Yeah, I mean it is interesting, right? Like this idea of, and to me this is like probably one of the bigger juxtapositions, like like a real conversation to have, in the entire film. This sort of, like you said, like you grow up poor, you want to be rich. You grow up rich, maybe you push back on that. I feel like a lot of people grow up rich are like, I'm fine to stay here. But yes, I get the idea of wanting to push back too. Because there are people like that. They want to feel like they struggled, right? Like that's more of what it is. They want to stay rich, but they want to feel like they struggled for it.
It's also the imposter syndrome thing. Like, I was joking about it earlier, but like, I'm not, right? Like some people don't feel like they are worthy of whatever, right? And they push back on the things that they kind of have been lucky enough to get. And I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well,
I don't have that mentality.
I mean, look, here's the thing. I remember I used to date this woman who was always like talking about like the struggle. And I'm like, at the time, this was like late 90s. I'm like, your parents live or your mom lives in like a $400,000 house in Baltimore County. The fuck you talking about the struggle for? Like, you ain't in it. Like, you not in it. Well, I don't live there. Yeah, you live in a house, her other house that she owns that's in the city, and you like trying to pretend like you struggling. You don't pay no rent. Like, you just living there by yourself. You're crazy, for free. So there is this like weird mentality of wanting to be something that you're not. It's kind of like every woman who has curly hair wishes she had straight hair, and vice versa, right? Like, it's just like a weird thing about human beings. What I think is you should be happy with what you have, and understand that that's a part of what created you, right? Because that's what Esquire ends up pushing at the end, which I think is very good. But it doesn't mean that's where you have to end up, right? You just have to acknowledge this is where you started. And a lot of people don't like to admit where they started, whether it's a shame for one reason or another, which is bizarre to me, but a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, you can come from means and still like be empathetic to people that don't have. Like,
right. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to fake it.
Right. You don't have to be a white man and pretend to be a black man just to see how racism is and then write a fucking book about it. Right? Like, you don't have to do all that. Just, you
could just believe black people when they tell you shit.
You could just talk to black people, You could just talk to black
people. That story makes me so mad. Come on, man.
I saw that shit. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. This is some white man pointing at the mirror. We're going to make this about you shit.
Yeah. By the way, there's nothing more racist than centering yourself as a white person in an argument of how's racism doing in America. Why don't I put myself in it to find out? I don't know, man. Just ask black people. Like they're right there. Congratulations. That story is crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think ultimately where you come from is a part of what makes you, for whether it's from means or not, right? It's the reason why even you see people who are, let's say, like big time musicians, like big time rappers or something like that, who've made millions or even, like a Jay-Z or something, like billions of dollars. His thirst and his quest for like as much money as possible solely comes from the fact that he grew up with almost nothing, right? And he can't break out of that cycle just because that's just how it is. It's like, don't you have enough money? By the way, he has enough money, but he's always going to have that drive because like he probably has that mentality of like, it could all go away tomorrow. Like I gotta like just acquire, and that's not good. But at the same time, you hear rich people and they're like, isn't life already perfect? Why do I need to change or do anything or be empathetic to others? It's like you already started on third base and like you hit a triple. Like, I don't know, man. Like look down, look at other people, look how their lives are going, be empathetic, understand people. But they have a hard time breaking out of that cycle too. So these two characters want to change roles. Like so desperately. Like he said, like Esquire's like, if you want to take piss in the hallway, that's fine. I'll live in the house with the Picasso. And he's like, you have a Picasso in your house. Like, what the fuck are you complaining about? But for her, she feels like a prisoner to that system. So everybody's pain is their pain, right? Like, there's no mine is worse. Like that, everybody's perspective is their own perspective. That's their own truth as it goes. So
yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah,
neither is right or wrong. Well, rich people not like giving a fuck about other people. That's wrong.
That's
but like, but Esquire wants to tell Rashad about Aaron, but is conflicted when Aaron says that she will reveal to her father where Esquire is really from, as he lied to Garnett about it while they were playing golf. Because apparently, Garnett was like, "You're not one of them broke niggas from Mechanicsville, are you? I can't stand poor people." Yeah, right. Like, what the fuck? Like,
wow,
that's a wild thing. Keith David, this is some fucking Clarence Thompson arguments you're having right there.
Yeah, he was like, not a fan. Fuck those kids. Like, aren't you from there? Shut up. Like, all right, you got it. Like, you just be quiet. Then we see. Okay, go ahead.
So Ant comes. Ant gets a little, full of himself, and the most untrustworthy name in all of black maledom comes up, and he's like, "Hey, my name is Jay. I'm black, and I'm gonna be bald eventually." With a beard.
Sooner than he thought.
Do you have some drugs for me? Everyone else is getting drugs from you. Can I get some drugs from you? Specifically you, Ant, the light-skinned dude with the glasses?
Can you please speak directly into my lapel? Can you please?
And Jay narcs on him, and Ant is arrested after the police raid his locker. Marcus bails him out and says, "Well, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just put in some overtime to recoup the money and the drugs that the police took." And when they get home, Rashad, the most noble brother in the world, which I would like to think that any brother would do this, right? Like,
yeah,
like any family member would stick up for their sibling, right?
I mean,
he comes in and he's like,
it's a little tenuous, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're talking a lot of shit to a drug dealer who's clearly has a gun in the car, like. So I'm not sure a lot of people are going to be like, I mean, T.I.'s going like pretty hard when he gets out of the car. I'm like, ease up, nigga. Ease up. Same. You want to get a couple of speed
So
holes in your chest.
they have a fight, right? And brothers fight. I get it. Um, yeah, yo, good lord, like fucking Ant is wearing a 4X shirt, yo.
Yo, that style I will never understand. I will never understand it. That was a wild style people used to wear, yo. The 4X, the 4 or 5X t-shirt with like jeans that were like culottes. Like this shit was weird. So weird. Look, I've always been a t-shirt and jeans, regular ass dude. Those styles came and went, like, for me. Do you ever have one of those?
I think I did.
Shirt?
I think I did, but like part of it was because I was tall, not like tall, but like part of it was because I was tall and I wanted like a baggy look.
Yeah,
but like I would have a 3X shirt, and it wouldn't look that bad like what's in this movie, but it's pretty fucking bad, yo. Like, the neck hole is like comes like to here and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right,
because there's somebody with a giant bulbous head and stretch out your shirts, stretch out the neck hole.
It's cashmere.
Where's that rum raisin? Yeah, look, it's they basically Rashad takes Ant in the house and he just starts beating the shit out of him, like, because he's just so mad that he's selling weed.
Hey, sometimes you got to beat some sense into people. And then Uncle George comes in and he breaks it up, and then but Uncle George is like, "Look, man, I got a mortgage to pay. Money ain't coming in. Women don't want a guy who's a janitor that's got to take care of 2 kids. And maybe a little extra money might not be such a bad thing, right?"
That was look. That was my neighbor in my last, not my last house, but the house before that. Like, I'm like, these niggas sell drugs, and she was like, okay, like that was her grandchildren. I'm like, you know where this money's coming from. Like, you're well aware of it. Like, it's weird. I don't know. If I had a family member selling drugs in my house, I'd be like, here's the thing, you can't live here. But it's a weird calculus.
Though, right?
It's a weird calculus that people have to do.
Yeah, man. Like, you got bills to pay, though, right? You got bills to pay. I'm not condoning it, but I
understand.
Yeah, I get it. During what seems to be a normal Sunday night at the skate rink, Erin's lies suddenly catch up to her as her father shows up to Cascade to take her home. He finds out because Erin's white friend dimed her out. These white people look like they are straight out of like racist central casting rich Southerners, man. This woman has.
You're not gonna believe what we found out. Like, yeah, I can believe it.
Like, did she just come home from work or something? Like, because it's Sunday, right? It's Sunday night. So she's got on like 2 pearl necklaces, a wedding ring that looks like a class ring, and a suit with like a sweater vest over top of it or some shit. Like, you don't wear that at home?
That's not
your on a Sunday?
Yeah, your wife doesn't rock this at 2 a.m. just hanging out?
Nah, she from Florida. We don't do all that. So they pull up. He pulls up, and the twins are like, "Oh, who's that? He must be some old retired rapper." Which immediately made me want to hear Keith David rap anything.
Yes,
I think it would be pretty fucking dope. They were like, "Oh, he got a nice car. Let's touch it." Like, what the fuck?
Y'all broke niggas, get away from my shit. Get out of here.
And yeah, Pops pulls her up and takes her out, and they have a huge argument.
Listen, everything that happens from the time this nigga pulls up to the skating rink till they get home and have that argument, 100% me. 1000% my personality, yo. Yeah. Like, he don't even say anything when he gets to the roller skate rink. He just get your ass in the car. Like, yo, he's so mad, yo. He's furious. And that's how mad I get. When I get real mad, I don't even say anything. Like, it's the opposite of my normal personality. Yeah. And so he was like, get your ass in the goddamn car. And then when they got home, he let her ass have it too.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to. I mean, I know you're not looking forward to this.
Yeah, you got
this
two
particular
boys.
scenario. I got 2 boys. I got to tell them to. Well, it's a different conversation to have.
Look, it's just different. There's no easy one. It's just different. It's just
right. But I get to call them little niggas to their face.
I don't see what the difference is. Guess what? Guess what happens right now? Like, the fuck? I get to say it. My wife doesn't get to say it. That's the only difference. You and your wife can say it to your sons. That's the only fucking difference. What the fuck? I'm like, nigga, if you don't get your ass upstairs, don't say that. Like, go.
And look, I'm trying. I'm really trying my best to not be the because I said so parent.
Oh, I've dropped that dime before.
But sometimes, man, I just can't help it. And it's just like, because I said don't do it. Like, that's it, Leo.
No,
like,
I've literally said the words because I said so. Like, and I feel slightly ridiculous when I say it, but then also I'm like, yeah, it worked though.
Right. If it worked, then it's like, oh, all right. But look, there's only so many. There's only so many spades in that hand. You know what I mean? Like, you can't cut an argument up like that.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, you got. That's a big joker. Like, you got to use that when you're at your wit's end. You get all the
and that's exactly what I do. Right? That's exactly what I do. Right? Like, you can't. Like, I don't have an answer for that just because I said so.
Yeah, that's
fuck out of here.
I love that she's like. She says because I said so. And she's like, so you don't have to explain why you believe that, but I got to explain that. And I'm like, oh, watch your fucking mouth, yo. What does she say to him? She says, "What if something happened to you?" He says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ma. Why can't I pick my friends and choose my life for myself?" And he says, because you're not making. Her mom says, because you're not making very good choices, baby. And then she says, I mean, you got a lot of good opportunities to choose from, like talking about colleges and her life and all this shit. It's like what? Going to Brighton? And she's like, Spelman is a good school. I want to go to Spelman. So your father and I, and she goes, but what? And yo, Keith Davis says from the other room, you better like talk to your mother like that again, and your lips will make it to the hospital before you do. It's like, God damn. And you know what? I felt that. I was like, yeah,
shit.
I like that. Your lips will beat you to the hospital before beat you to the hospital, yeah. He wasn't fucking around.
Oh man. No,
that's 100% my personality. This nigga's drinking scotch while he's yelling. Like, that feels like something I'm gonna do when I'm about 6
that's absolutely you. Do you have a dad voice, right? Do you have a dad
100%,
voice?
100%, dude.
Yeah. All right.
This is not my dad voice. This is not my dad voice.
Yeah.
My daughter is 5 as the crow flies by the time you guys are listening to this. I have this is my regular like talking voice. When I want something done, it's like when she's doing something that I don't think is acceptable, but I'm not mad about it. I'm like, my voice is more like, hey, I need you to stop doing that. Like, it's very like low and kind of flat. But I understand that, but I don't want you to do that. You need to stop. Right? That's my that's the like we're getting there type of voice. If I'm mad, it's you need to knock it off. I'm not playing with you. Like it gets like that. Like, and then there's very few times I actually raise my voice these days. I really don't, but there are on occasions, and then like That's more like, first off, like, you know, he gets.
I sound exactly like my father. Exactly like my
I
father.
believe that.
Just, and I can't even give you an example because it would be too loud, and I don't
Hey,
need the small one waking up.
hey, 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 hey.
All right. It's like, all right, enough with the whining. You know,
I can see it. I can see it. It is.
yeah.
It is really funny, man. Like, yeah, I definitely have like the three levels of my voice. Like, hey, we're playing with trains and fucking jumping in the pool and shit. That's this voice. And then the like, I need you to do what I asked. Stop fucking around voice. And then like, hey, yeah, like you throw a little. I have to add bass because, but it works. It works. It works.
Hey man, whatever scares your kids. That's the moral of this story.
That's what you should do. Yeah, I'm just like, knock it off. Yeah, so after Keith David, he was like, look, I know what that boy was after. I used to be him. I understand, and he wasn't after your big ass earrings. He's like, why do you always think somebody wants something from me? They do. I get it, but they do. Like, this is a conversation I'm gonna have with my daughter. She's gonna have the same fucking viewpoint. I'm like, listen, they do. Boys are terrible. Look at my face. I used to be.
I don't care
before I
what
trap.
language you speak.
Right. I look exactly, and you speak two of them. Like, figure it out. The fuck. Like, before I trapped your mother into making a bad decision marrying me, I used to be a fucking problem out there. Understand? So, nah, like it is something you got to explain to kids. Like, yeah, like, you know, like, look, she just happens to be dating the most noble nigga in all of Atlanta. I'll grant you that. But the rest of them are
Like, no,
scumbags.
they don't know that, right?
Yeah.
David don't know that.
Yeah, all I saw was a rapper. Like, get out of here. Get away from my daughter. Like, you 26 years old at the time in this filming. Knock it off. So, yeah, I get it. Look, Keith David ain't wrong. He's not wrong.
No, I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's wrong at all. I see myself in Keith David. That's all I wanted to say. I'm as cool as Keith David.
Yeah. I love that. You don't have to explain yourself. Well, I don't have to explain myself. Why don't you have to explain yourself? Because I said so. Conversation ended.
Okay. The next day.
Yeah, like quite literally.
Aaron drives to Rashad's house, trying to explain herself and apologize. But Rashad doesn't want to hear anything she has to say, effectively breaking up with her. Feeling betrayed, he then alienates his friends after realizing that Esquire knew about Aaron after realizing she was driving the same car, sitting in the driveway of John Garnett's house. Esquire, feeling guilty about the way he obtained the letter, decides to return it to Garnett and reveals the truth about himself, much to the chagrin of Garnett. So yeah, this is the I don't know if these types of movies have the all is lost moment, but they have if this were a romantic comedy, it would be the moment where the two leads are torn away from each other for usually stupid reasons, but by the end of the movie they eventually come back. And then this is just extrapolated to include the crew, right? Because if you have the most noble person in all of 2006 Atlanta, the one thing is just like, don't lie to me, and you get caught in a lie. Well, then he breaks off and he's just like, I don't trust none of y'all now. Even are you really from Brooklyn? Or is that just your name? Right?
Is your arm really broken?
Right, exactly.
The one thing I will say is this movie provided the context for two memes that I have used many times over. The necklace snatching meme, which I often enjoy. he was so fucking serious. He was like, "Give me that shit." And the later one with Marcus, I know that ain't who I think it is, which is I just that scene is just so fucking funny to me, or that part of the scene. So yeah, he obviously doesn't trust Aaron anymore, and I mean her lie is really that I'm just like a hood chick, but in reality my parents got money.
Well, he takes it as, you know, oh, you just slumming down here to try and throw you're just trying to embarrass us, right? Like you trying to embarrass me, right? I bought you this little rinky dink chain and you coming up here in a fucking BMW, right? Like you making fun of me, right? Is this what you're doing? Is this how you get your kicks? You hang out with the poor people, right? And you can't and that's fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean I get that, like this idea that he's just being embarrassed, but I think the embarrassment is just from him not knowing, right? And it's also touching at his own personal inadequacies, right? Like if he doesn't believe that he can ever get out, or that him and his friends will never get out of this situation, and then here you have a person already born on third base, so to speak. Like it's embarrassing for her to see him in like his little house and everything else, like. That's his own personal inadequacies. Then that is also like doubled down by her lying to him. So then he's pushing out even harder, right? So, yeah, I mean it's understandable. It's 100% understandable.
So the last Sunday night we get a quick montage of all these drug dealers in uniform, apparently white tees and jeans, blue jeans. And Ant is the last one. Apparently, nobody wants to buy any marijuana from Ant. And all of a sudden, we see more dudes in white tees, and they beat the shit out of Ant, and they rob his ass.
Yeah, they fucked him up.
Yeah, he really fucked his ass up. Like, goddamn. I was a little confused because I was like, wait, are these the same guys that were there before? Like, are these the same dudes in the same crew? Because they're all wearing white tees and jeans. Yo. Like, what the fuck?
And everybody's outfits are way oversized. So it's hard to know.
Yeah. Like, what the hell, man?
Now, let's not skip over Esquire kind of shoving it in Garnett's face, right? He's just kind of like, look, take your letter, kind of basically have it back. I am from fucking Mechanicsville, Georgia, and I'm okay with that. And with all due respect, like, that's where you're from, and you're trying to deny it, and you need to be able to tell your daughter that, like, that is where you're from. And he was like, I'm going to make it without your letter. Like, basically, go fuck yourself. Which we find out later Garnett actually respects. He's like, damn, this nigga's spitting. Like, he kind of right. Which is cool. Like, it's a good lesson to be learned that you don't sell yourself out just to make it. And it's funny, in the end, Esquire realizes they don't come out and say it, but he even defends Aaron against her dad, right? And it's a person he doesn't even really like up until that point, but even he sees like, all right, this is kind of fucked up. So yeah. he gains perspective not just about himself, but about others as well. Yeah, and then those niggas just beat up Ant, which is crazy.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of him, man. Like, goddamn. Marcus corners Ant. I think there's some other stuff that happens, but like the crew is trying to get back together, right? Like, yeah. They trying to get Rashad, but Rashad is like, nah, yo, fuck all that. Nope. And Uncle comes down and is like, gives some sage advice, like, maybe you should start slinging dope. No, he doesn't say that, but he tries to get Rashad, like, he tries to get our hero, his motivation back up to be noble again, to want to help others. Then then that character, bam, immediately turns a corner, right?
Yeah.
So he gets a phone call from Marcus, and Marcus is like, "Hey, where's Ant? I'm looking for him." And he was like, "What the fuck are you looking for my brother for? I told you to get away." He was like, "Nah, bitch, I'm his daddy now. He still work for me, right?" And
Like, all right, I guess I got to go kill a drug dealer, yo. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, leave my brother alone. Leave my brother alone. That's crazy.
So Marcus pulls up on Ant, scares the shit out of him, makes him drop his chocolate milk.
Right on his shirt.
If you need any proof that this character is a child,
right.
He's sitting there drinking a carton of chocolate milk. You know, he pulls up, and then he's got him cornered, and then our hero Rashad comes down, and he's like, "Hey, get away from my brother, man!" And look, I love sibling stories, right? Yeah. I love siblings looking out for each other.
It's a good look.
It is, man. It's right up there with "you must be one of us, you must be all of us," right? Like it's that's what it is, but on a familial level, right?
Yep.
So yeah, there's an argument. T.I. and Big Boy fight each other.
Yeah, two rapping ass niggas just get into a beef.
And Marcus, Big Boy's character, grabs the gun and takes a shot, and then we cut to black. We don't know who is in some sort of intensive care, and then we finally see that it is Ant who received that bullet, and he got shot in the neck.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. At the hospital, Rashad and Ant reconnect. Like, yo, we brothers, yo. Like, let's not do this shit, man. Like, stop selling dope, and I'll continue to be the most awesome nigga in Atlanta. Rashad and his friends make peace as well, each going to succeed in their endeavors. And I guess Big Boy is just around.
Yeah, I would have liked to see some level of, I don't know, wrap up with him, like him going to jail or some shit like that. Meanwhile, Esquire, he goes off to Ivy League, and this dude is literally running for it, trying to chase these two fine black chicks on campus. I get it.
It's mirroring a photo that he saw in his Ivy League school, papers, right? Like that's something that he's always wanted to do, and then he found, these two braless wonders here.
Yeah, not a sports bra found. I hear that hurts, but okay. Yeah, Uncle George, he got himself got the gold wing, and he got himself a lady friend, as old black men like to say.
Yeah, he don't
marry a woman.
He's been trying on like dating sites, not even dating sites, right? Like he was going in magazines, filling out like this is what I am, this is what I'm into, right? To send it back in like Matchmaker magazines or some shit. And it was like, hey, maybe you should just go to church and find a woman. And
he did.
And yeah, he did. We see Ant taking his studies seriously. He is in the honors class, and we know that because he's in an air-conditioned classroom, because that asshole teacher at the beginning was like, no, you dumb niggas don't get AC. AC is only for the kids that's going to make it. Like, Jesus Christ, lady, what the fuck?
That's a fucked up thing to tell kids, yo. That's y'all too dumb. Like, thanks. It's hot in here, though. Like, don't worry. You don't have to use too much of your brain, so it's fine.
Brooklyn becomes a manager at a Whack Arnold's. Um,
Ew, nigga, you smell like French fries. That's good.
oh shit. Teddy, the 21-year-old high school student, finally graduates high school and opens up a gold teeth shop called Gangsta Grills.
Yes, in fact, he does.
Um, and is that everybody?
And then Rashad. Well,
And
and Aaron.
Rashad.
Aaron ends up at Spelman.
Yeah, Aaron goes to Spelman because like she's like, hey, I don't want to go to this PWI. I want to go to Spelman, which I get.
Yeah,
And then we see Rashad just got his comics. He works at a newspaper or something.
yeah, he's drawing the ATL comic, which is pretty cool. Look, I really appreciated all the positive wrap ups. I really did. None of them seemed unrealistic to the characters. Like they didn't suddenly make Brooklyn like he owns 10 franchises or some shit like that. Like, right. Like he's a high school kid. Like I get it. Rashad isn't. Oh, suddenly he's drawing for the New York Times or some shit like okay, like just relax. But he's doing it for a local paper and stuff like that, and that's cool. And that's not it's like it's not so low that it's unimpressive. It's what he really wanted to do, which is very cool. And I also like that they didn't just stick Aaron with Rashad and be like, and then they lived happily ever after. It says she went to Spelman. It doesn't say that they like stayed together. She says, I just like that she's close. Like, yeah, maybe they stayed together, maybe they didn't. Generally, people don't stay with a person that they, started dating in high school. So, I kind of appreciated that wrap up. It made sense. So,
yeah,
there you go.
Let's see. Any interesting trivia? The movie was shot in 45 days.
Wow.
The original title for the movie was going to be Jelly Bean, which was the nickname of one of the characters, but they couldn't use it. Big Boy's actual brother is in the movie. Yeah, that's the only somewhat interesting trivia. So yeah, look, man, this is a solid movie. I see why it could be considered a cult classic.
Yeah, especially if you're from there.
The music was dope.
It's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, I like that era of music, but like that's it, right? Like we were listening when we were in Atlanta. We were listening to this station that played only old school hip hop, which that's how you know you're in a real black ass city where you got a whole station dedicated to music from before 2000, hip hop specifically before 2000. And yeah, that's the type of music that I remember listening to and liking when I was into music. Now I don't know what the fuck is going on.
No, I don't know 99% of the people who are on the radio.
Yeah,
I'm old. So yeah, all in all, ATL is a good time. Again, it's not much of a message movie. It's got a couple of things in it. There's not a lot to sort of dig in on the movie, but it is an enjoyable movie. So if you haven't seen it or you haven't seen it in a long time, check out ATL. And we will be back next week with another preview episode for episode 264.
See ya.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.